This time we are doing raw vegan alfredo pasta. Hey guys, it's Tara from 40 Below Fruity, and I'm here with my Aunt Lori.
Hi.
And we are doing another mukbang today because we had so much fun doing it the last time, and we've come equipped this time with forks. So many of you asked us, why are you eating noodles with a spoon? I don't know, good question. Obviously didn't think it through. It was supposed to be a soup, but yeah, I think we both had a little trouble. So this time, it'll be a little easy. Oh, she brought.
And also, this is a great product for cutting noodles. You just go in and chop. Them. You don't even disturb anything.
Yes.
Very good.
Because if you spiralize zucchini, like we have done here, they come out in really long strands. And you know when you're trying to twirl it around your fork and you just can't fit anymore? That's what we use to avoid that. So what we have here is a raw vegan zucchini alfredo. It's kind of a recipe we just came up with on the go.
It is.
It's going to be in a vlog as well. I didn't make a specific recipe video for it, but it is, the sauce is pine nuts and lemon juice, garlic, sage, thyme, onion, green onion, and dried onion flakes as well, and lots of black pepper, cracked black pepper, and some celery, and then blended it all together, and it's really flavorful, isn't it?
It is.
It's got some herbs in it, and yeah, it's beautiful. So, topped it with some chopped spinach, because I really like chopped spinach with zucchini noodles. So good. Really, oh, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. This kind of, you know what, doing these mukbangs breaks me out of my shell of eating the same salad every single day, because otherwise, that's pretty much what I do. Creature of habit. And it's just easy because you know what to make, you don't have to experiment with recipes. But this is nice once in a while just to eat something different, not to eat the same thing every day. As much as I do enjoy doing that, actually. But.
And we had the fresh herbs in the garden,
yes,
so
that was a nice surprise, yeah. Makes a big difference using fresh herbs as opposed to the dried herbs.
Yes.
I like the flavor a lot better. It's a lot more subtle, and
it is.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very nice. Okay, let's see how we do.
The topic for today, I'd like to talk about a couple things. First off, cravings. Someone had asked, how do you avoid cooked food cravings? I'll chime in quickly here. It's making dishes like this. Honestly, it's getting creative. It's, you know, finding your old favorites. I used to love fettuccine alfredo, and if you don't know what that is, I feel like, I don't know, we have a big Italian community here, so I think it is Italian. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So in Southern Ontario, where I grew up, here with my Aunt Lori and my dad and everyone, we have a huge Italian community, so fettuccine alfredo is a staple in my diet, and that's one thing I've really missed, going raw. So making raw versions of your favorite foods, that's a definite way. Yeah.
And the flavor, so with all your spices, your herbs, to get a certain type of flavor, it'll satisfy.
It's really important. When I was learning about raw food, actually, years ago, when I came to you, the first person I was introduced to was Victoria Botanko. She has this five flavor profiles, and what they are is salty, spicy, sweet, sour, and bitter. And apparently, if you have all those flavors in your food, then it's going to satisfy you.
Yes, and you've got the taste buds on your tongue, the receptors to taste that.
Each one of those flavors. I feel like this meal has all of them. It's really good.
It's delicious.
I love zucchini noodles. If you don't like zucchini, you could easily do kelp noodles or cucumber noodles like we did the other day. Someone was asking too if we could taste the vegetables. If you replace pasta with these sorts of vegetables, can you really taste them? Zucchini is really mild. Even if you don't like zucchini, I encourage you to try zucchini noodles because I just find you can't really taste the zucchini.
Right, the flavor comes from all the other foods and the spices.
Exactly. Okay. So, because you've been into vegetarianism for a long time and raw food for a long time, what has helped you avoid cooked food cravings? What's been your...
I think it's all about the flavor and the texture. So because sometimes you might want to crunch, you know, sometimes you want something soft, but I think for me, crunch is a regular kind of thing that I like to have.
A craving that you have? Yeah. So do you have cravings for specific foods then? Like specific cooked foods, or do you have cravings for textures more than
more textures?
More textures.
More textures.
Okay.
And then this year, well, I've realized over the last year or two that in the winter, savory is more, yeah, it's more what I'd like to go for. It's comforting in the cold.
That was a big bite. I feel that too. I want to see if you agree as well. Do you find that during the winter months you crave fattier foods? Or does it matter to you?
I'm more aware of it. I just find I'm more aware of it in this. I would say yes, because in the summer I'm liking all of the fresh fruits, everything juicy, fresh vegetables, fresh and juicy. Yes, I like that. So yes, I do change. And I also like outdoor sports in the snow. So snowmobiling is a big thing for me. And I always take a bag of dates, just raw dates, dates, because if we break down, if we break down, we're out on the trails and we could be waiting a long time for help.
That was a good save. Yeah, keep it in the middle next time.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. And so you have them. Why do you choose dates?
I choose dates because they're hardy and they will keep me going. If we're stranded, they'll keep me going for hours. I don't worry. I won't worry. That is one thing I won't worry. If I have my dates,
getting hungry.
If it's getting dark, and you know, if we're so far in the wilderness and we know we're waiting a long time, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. As long as I've got, if I've got my dates, I'm fine. I can manage anything else.
Okay.
So, and also if it's just a quick break, maybe we're stopping, you know, we've gone for 2 hours and we just want a quick break, and we're not at a restaurant or anywhere else where we're going to eat, then just snack. I just snack on it, and I'm good to go again, because even though I'm not running, I'm actually sitting on a machine, there still is physical activity and going on the trails. Of course. And you want to keep your energy high. You want to keep alert and everything, you know, with the blood sugar, anything to do like that. It's good. It keeps you full longer, and the energy is a very positive energy.
And each date has quite a bit of calories in it, as opposed to bringing fresh fruit, which you might need to eat a lot larger quantities of.
Right.
Dates are good for that. And if you don't like dates, you could do raisins, or dried mulberries are really good too.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, things like that, absolutely. Yeah, dates are my quick go-to. And I mean, we could be snowmobiling in minus 30 to minus 40 degrees Celsius weather, so the dates are fine. They're not gonna freeze to where I can't eat them. They're dense, so they're safe.
Have you ever tried dried apples doing that too? They're really nice as well.
I love dried apples.
Yeah, dried apples are delicious.
Lucky.
Go for it.
I was gonna say, lucky for me, I live in an area. Well, I live in the country, but I also live in an area where there are local apples that I can get all year long. I haven't bought an apple in a grocery store in years.
That's nice.
I don't even know what they. I don't even know in the grocery store, but I can go to my local Apple store and Apple Farm and get the brand that I've used my whole life. I grew up on a Cortland apple. And
I remember those too.
Yeah.
From growing up.
To this day, I can get my Cortland apples.
That's amazing. I'd forgotten about those.
Yeah, and that's what I make my apple crumble. Your raw apple crumble recipe. I make them from the Cortland apples, and they're the best.
We need to make that. Let us know if you want a recipe video of that apple crumble, because sometimes I make a whole pan and just eat the whole thing myself. Me too. Actually, always. Because it's so good.
And it's a recipe that I use at Christmas time. Like on Christmas Day, that is a dessert for me. And if others are having their other apple pie, cherry pie, mincemeat pie, I'm having the raw apple crumble.
That's a great idea.
It really is. It's delicious, and it's appealing. Like, it's very attractive to look at. You know, at Christmas you want your dishes to look festive, and it does look festive.
And it's dense too, and I think that seems to be a theme that we're talking about: raisins, dates, dried apples, dried mulberries, just having foods that are dense. Because for me, I mean, everyone's different, so I won't generalize, but for me, having a lot of juicy fruits in the winter just simply does not cut it. I need to increase my fat intake. I need a lot of dense fruits because it's cold, and I mean, it could be because your body takes a little extra energy to heat yourself up, especially when you're spending time outdoors. But I just don't crave juicy fruits, maybe oranges, but I'm certainly not wanting watermelon on a day where it's cold and you're wrapped up, bundled up in sweaters with a wood stove on or a wood fire on. The last thing you want is watermelon. Right. So, or at least for me, that's the last thing I want. So
it's nice with the spices like the cinnamons and the nutmegs with the apples and everything like that. It's a nice flavor. You're getting so many different flavors there, and it's in the winter even. It's very satisfying
and traditional too. Right?
It is traditional.
Because we have a Christmas tradition here where, you know, I mean, I think most people probably in North America have traditions where you're eating heavier foods around Christmas time. And that's completely normal. Can I use your little snippers there?
Sure.
This is a brilliant idea. I feel like everyone, this is what we need to take to dinner parties now. Snippers. People might look at you like you're crazy if you start cutting your noodles with snippers at the dinner table. Fair warning. But it works.
It's not even messy. It's not a messy
I think it's brilliant. I personally think it's brilliant.
I do too.
I think if I did this around my dad, he'd probably think I'm nuts, but, but I think it's good. I was going to mention one thing, especially around Christmas time or just holiday time or when the weather gets cold. A lot of people that I've coached in the past have had a lot of trouble with binging on dates. Apparently that's a really big thing where people feel like they're out of control. They can't stop eating them. Oh. And they overeat to the point where they feel sick on dates. I have never had that happen. Not for me. I've never felt, I mean, when I eat enough dates that I feel full, I feel no desire to continue eating them. But I know that that's a real problem for a lot of people, especially people who suffer from bulimia. It seems to be a trend, overeating on dates. So if you find that you're overeating on dates, switch to a different type of dried fruit. I won't say limit yourself because it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you want to make sure you're eating enough. You don't want to limit yourself, but at the same time, if you feel out of control with any food, switch to a different dried fruit so that you maybe don't feel that way. Because I know that's a big problem.
Right, and variety. Have some variety. But I didn't know that, and I've never had that.
I'm surprised too.
I think of even when I will go most for the dates when I'm out on the snowmobile trails, I'm still only having maybe I'm having 4 or 5. I never really think about it. I just know when it's enough, and it's never a lot. I love to share dates. That's one thing on the trail that people that don't normally eat dates, I find, will have a date when I offer, and they like it. That's good.
What you could do too is stuff the dates with walnuts or pecans. Put a walnut or pecan in each date, or if you don't want to have any fat, you could stuff a strawberry half, or blueberries in dates are so good together. I'm trying to think of other things. So you could probably put a little apple slice with some cinnamon on it inside of a date too. And
what about a nut butter?
Oh yeah, almond butter's so good.
And maybe with
Actually, you know what would be really good? I just thought of all these ideas come It would be really, really good with an apple slice, some almond butter, and cinnamon stuffed into a date. Oh, that's gonna be my new thing.
Sounds like a new recipe. I think some of the best ideas could be born from nice little dinner parties like this. Good conversation, right? Talking about food.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of how we come up with recipes. Today we really didn't know what we were going to eat for this mukbang, and then we just got talking about specific ingredients, and I think you mentioned the alfredo because you're watching one of Christina's videos, Fully Raw Christina.
Right.
And we came up with this. I really think for me, this is one of the aspects that has helped me stay raw and avoid cooked food cravings, is having foods that are similar to my old favorites. And you can mimic almost anything raw. I mean, you don't have to have fancy equipment like a dehydrator. Usually a blender is good enough. I mean, we made this with a vegetable spiralizer. I got my vegetable spiralizer for $2 at the dollar store. So it's not like it has to be expensive, fancy equipment. You have a nice spiralizer.
Right.
That's more elaborate than that, but you don't have to get that equipment.
Right.
And you can make a dish like this with a simple blender. I've made them in, $20 blenders. You don't need a Vitamix, although I recommend getting one because they're brilliant.
It's the best investment. It's the best. If I had only one piece of equipment to have, it would be that.
Vitamix?
The Vitamix. One in the kitchen. Yeah.
It's just so handy with making these kinds of recipes.
Oh, it is. Making anything and everything. I use it every day. I use it more than once a day.
Me too. So, because we eat differently, and when you're making raw versions of your favorite foods, especially around the holiday season, what do you bring to holiday gatherings, or what do you eat? It could be cooked or raw. It doesn't have to be. We can talk about any food ideas here that are favorite versions.
When I think of Christmas Day, because I have Christmas dinner here and our family comes here, I make the apple crumble that we just talked about. I love to have that on Christmas Day. It's delicious, you know. My son loves it. My son and I are the two that will eat that for dessert. And but I make other snacks or during the day, like we were talking earlier about the peanut butter balls, and I make those, and then I do change the recipe a little bit on those depending on who's having them. And but you've got your peanut butter, your raisins, and coconut
guava nectar.
Yeah, guava nectar, coconut powder, and what else did I put in there? It's so simple. I think that was sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, and you just stir it up and roll it into balls and put it in the freezer.
And that's it.
And yeah, you can serve it frozen or let them thaw. But I have family members that are not vegan, and they love those snacks. So that's another thing I make. And the gingerbread cookies.
Oh yeah.
So I have gingerbread cookies, but I would love to have a raw vegan gingerbread cookie or snack of some kind.
I was thinking about that, actually, creating, because raw cookies are kind of not tricky, but they just don't look so nice. They don't look like a regular cookie, and calling them a cookie is kind of like false advertising, because they're not going to taste like a cookie. They won't have the texture of a cookie. I say we just drop the whole cookie label altogether.
Sure.
And I was thinking of doing some sort of gingerbread bar, like a raw vegan gingerbread bar with, what would you put in it? Maybe dried mulberries, dates, cashews, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, obviously, and maybe a bit of molasses in there to get that characteristic ginger flavor. I know it's not raw, but... And then just separating or blending all those ingredients together in a food processor or separately in a blender, and then mixing them together and putting them into a pan and slicing them into bars. That would be so good.
It would. And I bet between different spices we could come up with something that, even if you wanted it to be like, we could find some type of replacement that would be raw for the molasses. I think we could. I think we really could. And I've got some ideas going around right now, but I think we put our heads together. You know, you'll come up with it, I'm sure, and I'm looking forward to that. But for people that don't want to, they want to eat better and they want to stay vegan or stay raw, they're so tempted. There's so much temptation right now for them not to be. And maybe it's that gingerbread cookie that they want. And so if we can have the flavors in it. I think it's, you know, the flavors, and sometimes, like I've said, sometimes it's the crunch, but otherwise it's the flavors, and we can definitely get
flavors.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
And the beautiful thing about that food is you get all the same flavors, and you don't feel like garbage afterwards. You don't feel like taking a nap.
Right.
That's how most people feel at the holidays. And there's so much gluttony all around, and it's so easy to get drawn into that. And because there's so much good food around, it's so easy to give into a craving. But we just want to show you that it is possible to eat healthy foods, and you're going to feel so much better afterwards. You can literally have your cake and eat it too, as long as you make delicious foods that are healthy and taste good and mimic your favorites, your old favorites.
Right. So another thing, and I know I'm talking mostly with snack food, but because that goes, it is important because that's what there's an abundance of at this time of year. And so butter tarts. I have a family recipe that's been in my family since my grandmother, and I've converted that vegan, and it's everyone that loves it. I've had over 200 people have them at dinner parties, and they love them. They, you know, some know they're vegan, some don't, but they just love them. It's just the new vegan tradition in the family for butter tarts.
But I bet if you never told them, most of them would have no idea.
No,
vegan.
They just
What is a butter tart for those watching? Because I just know my dad loves them. I don't actually know what they are.
Well, a butter tart is it looks like a little mini pie with no shell on the top, and then inside, traditionally, what it is a corn syrup. That's what gives the liquidy. So corn syrup, and then more sugar, raisins, walnuts, perhaps coconut, perhaps, and butter. Oh, and eggs. And I've turned that vegan.
You veganized it.
I've veganized it, and took the heavy sweetness out of it. So it doesn't, and again, it doesn't leave you feeling bad afterward. It's nice. It's not. Even though it's not raw, it doesn't leave you feeling heavy afterwards.
Well, not everyone watching this video is raw. That's totally fine. I mean, I like to show options, but You don't have to be all raw during the holidays if you don't want to be. There's no pressure. There's not like some law that says you don't eat raw food. I don't know what. It's just so silly. Everyone stresses about it. And there's just no reason to stress about eating all raw. We're not raw. It's the holidays, and you know, do what you need to do. And also make food, whether it's vegan or raw, no matter what it is, that you can share with the people you love. Because I find a lot of the times, the reason people are judgmental, I have friends who've done this, where they come to dinner, Christmas dinner, and you know the kind of reaction you're gonna get. Bring a head of lettuce and just start eating a head of lettuce. You can guess what kind of reaction people are gonna have. They're gonna think you're a nut job. So maybe go put a little bit more effort into it. I understand the idea of making a point, but if you put more effort into it, need a dish like what we're having right now, or what we've been talking about, you can maybe inspire them to try the food because it looks normal to them. They look at this and they can think pasta. Right? So it makes them perhaps more open to trying it.
Right. And for yourself, anything you're going to make for Christmas Day or any of this Christmas time, make it appealing for Christmas colors perhaps for yourself. Like if you want red and green peppers chopped, like your red and green. Find the foods that will add the Christmas colors.
Yeah. People might want to try those. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It just looks more festive.
Yeah, more festive.
Everyone tries a little more at Christmas. You know, if you're around family and you want to impress people with your food.
Sure.
And food like this is really impressive. It's delicious.
Festive. And make us all feel good.
And I think that's one of the things too, is that people will see when you finish your meal, you don't feel heavy and lethargic. And they often will, because it's a lot of heavy foods, a lot of animal products, a lot of fat, a lot of white processed sugar, just processed foods in general. I remember I used to feel so tired. I'd almost have to lay down for a nap after a Christmas meal.
I was just going to say that, and most people do that eat that that heavy meal, and they go for the nap right after. Whereas we can get up and we can clean everything up, feel great, and we're not lethargic.
Exactly. And it's all with foods like these. I'll have to make those gingerbread bars. And maybe some people were asking for dessert recipes and doing a mukbang with desserts and things like that. Maybe we should do that.
I think we should do that.
I
would love to do that.
A snack mukbang, maybe trying a few different snacks that we make. Ooh, that would be fun.
That would be fun. Okay, let's do that. Like that.
Yum. This is so good. Well,
an eggnog, your raw eggnog.
Oh yeah.
That's festive.
I will have that recipe up already, actually. Maybe, possibly. If the recipes for what we're talking about aren't up already, they will be, and I promise I will link to them and upload them to my channel as soon as I have created them. So don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. We'll always post the recipes for what we're talking about, as long as we've made them. But for now, I think that's it. Just talking about cravings and how to avoid cravings, what foods to make, and that sort of thing. I think we've done a pretty good job with creating foods that mimic our old favorites to feel satisfied. Because I think it's so important to feel satisfied.
It is.
You do not have to limit yourself on a raw vegan diet or a vegan diet ever. You can eat in abundance, you can eat delicious foods. There is no sacrifice whatsoever. And it's even better than that because animals don't have to be sacrificed for your taste buds. It's not, it's a really good thing.
Exactly.
Do you have any last parting words or?
Well, I was just thinking about Christmas time, and there's no reason to sacrifice at Christmas time. We're going to have raw, vegan, delicious dishes to feel good by.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great Christmas.
I know. I wish I could be here.
I know.
Well, I'm
gonna miss you.
This is our before Christmas celebration.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you want to see more mukbangs, we can maybe make another one before I head home to British Columbia. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm sure there will be lots of comments about how successful we were eating with forks this time instead of spoons.
Learn as we go.
Hey, it's all a process.
It's a process.
And thanks for your support. I hope you guys are enjoying these Vlogmas videos. I've really loved doing a video every day and having a theme for Christmas. It's been a lot of fun. And thanks again, and we'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.
Bye.